the accusation against the BJP government, against the NDA government, against the Modi Sarkar from the opposition India Alliance and your political opponents is that you talk a big game. You say Article 370 was abrogated, the number of terrorist incidents have come down, the number of infiltrations have come down. All of that, there is data to back it. But the reality is, it also leads to what has happened in Anantnag. 3 of our brave soldiers have died, and I'm afraid the death toll will go up, is likely to go up. And this includes, by the way, a commanding officer, a major, and a deputy superintendent of police. So there is nothing to gloat about the fact that after 370, terrorist incidents have come down. This is the charge from the opposition. Please respond.
No, there is nothing to gloat about. We saw the most heart-wrenching visuals, and I think all of us found it difficult to see them because they do something to you, because you see the loss of your people, and it only strengthens your resolve, and not just of my party or our government, but also of our armed forces and all the people involved to avenge the deaths of our people. So there is no way one can gloat over something like that. One can only do more than what is being done. And you're right, there is a hybrid warfare in place. All kind of unconventional means are being used, will be used. You just gave us evidence of drones being used. And I actually do believe that it is important to mention that since the abrogation of Article 370 and scrapping of 35A, not only there have been fewer casual deaths, but also in terms of the entire network of overground workers has been smashed. Newly recruited militants have been done away with, and NIA has played a very, very big role in finding the money trail. So a lot has happened. But of course, you must talk about all the great things that have happened, but must point out, and this is not the time to score political brownie points at all. It's very unfortunate. The former Home Minister of this country, P. Chidambaram, raising questions on India and Indian policy at this time, taking very little responsibility for all that has happened in the years that they have ruled. And the fact that they just sat on this very, on the whole idea of keeping 370 going, which actually led to the Algawad, the seeds were sown of a separate identity and allow and foster cross-border terrorism. And now to say this, in the midst of all efforts to not just bring peace to the people and to the region, and to work for them because there are constitutional mandates there, but to raise points on Indian policy at this point of time. Of course, we will answer this, and Anurag Thakur has spoken that there would be a befitting reply. After all, this government has also spoken and acted, and more than speaking. But one cannot at all at this point of time question the government at this point of time. I think political voices have to be the quietest at this point of time, and we must allow for other things and other mechanisms to prevail.
Shama Mohammed, Dr. Shama Mohammed, I don't want to get into this political tu meh, but the data is right there. It's hard data, it's hard facts, it's there right in front of you. Number one, the number of stone pelting incidents. Before Article 370 was abrogated, there were more than 5,000 stone pelting incidents. It's fallen to under 500. That's a 92% decrease. The number of encounters by security forces and terrorist operations have reduced from 539 before 370 to 369. The number of civilians killed in terrorist violence has shown an 11% decrease from 155 pre-370 abrogation to 138. And also, police officers who are laying down their lives in the line of duty has shown a 57% decline from 345. It's come down to 150. This is hard data. There's no politics about it. This is hard data that's been shared by the government in Parliament, right? Now, how do you argue against this? You can say, yes, things like what happened in Anantnag have happened, and that's a reality. But at the same time, the data points to the fact that there's been a substantial fall in terrorist incidents, in terrorist infiltrations, in stone pelting, in civilians who've been killed, and in forces who've been killed. So how do you respond to that specifically, please?
Okay, thank you, Zaka. I found what Shazia Ilmi said at the end, that they should not ask us any questions, laughable. This is a democracy and we will continue to ask you questions. That is our right. Unless, of course, this country has moved into an undeclared emergency. Number two, what you've asked me, Zaka, let's understand that what you said is right. In the Kashmir Valley, it's gone down. But south of Pir Panjal, that is Jammu, Poonch and Rajouri, it has gone up. The militants have moved from there to here. And we also, now there is a wave, it's like Punjab and Nepal, they're coming in. Punjab, from there they go to Udhampur, and from there they've come into, through Valaya Katwa, it's entering, the militancy is coming here. And let's also understand there is a drone technology in which they give ammunitions, arms, all of these things. So there is definitely an increase. I mean, this year itself in April, we lost 5 army personnels. Now, of course, day before 3 of them. So there is, this year itself up to now, 34 army personnel have died and 72 civilians in this particular area. So the warfare has changed. The militants have come here. So let's understand what has happened. Now, for me, the saddest thing is, Zaka, I saw my Prime Minister saying when the earthquake happened in Morocco, his deepest condolences. He condoled them. Yesterday, he was wishing the Israeli New Year to the Israeli Prime Minister. I haven't heard a single word of condolence from the Prime Minister of this nation, condemning what happened and condoling the family. Why hasn't the Prime Minister, in fact, when this attack happened and he knew about it, he was in the headquarters celebrating the G20 success. Then I saw him in Chhattisgarh and I saw him in Madhya Pradesh, very busy on election campaign. Now the Prime Minister of this country needs to support our Jawans in their bad times too. It's not just the good times. Now, if elections was around the corner, I would see Prime Minister in tears and talking about it just like he spoke about Pulwama. I did not interrupt. I don't interrupt, please. Zaka, can you ask her to? Can you ask her to keep on Zaka? This way we can't debate.
You made a political charge. Shama Mohammed, you made a political charge.
I remember.
Shazia Ilmi respond to that.
Zaka, let me finish.
Yeah, sure.
And 2611, I remember Shivraj Patil was asked to resign because he changed 3 dresses and these people attacked him. And even the media. Today the media, everybody is quiet on the Prime Minister. I want to know why.
So let Shazia Ilmi respond to that. Let Shazia Ilmi respond to that, and then I'll go to our other guests after that. Shazia Ilmi.
Yes, I mean, I can give you all the figures, and I didn't want to do that initially because it is such a sad moment. I think it's tragic to watch the 6-year-old Kabir salute. His
I want to ask.
No, Shazia, 1 second. You asked a question. You asked a question. Let her respond. Let her respond. Shama, let her respond. Please yield. Let her respond. You asked her a question. Let her respond. Thank you. Yeah.
From 2019 to 23, 146 security personnel died, which is 56% less. You mentioned about stone pelting. I will tell you all the figures, whether it's different encounters, different insurgency attacks, and all the after this.
Do not sideline the question which I answered.
Shama, 1 second. Shama, 1 second, please. Not this way. Shama, please. You asked a question. It's in your interest that you give her the opportunity to answer that question. Shazia Ilmi, yes. Thank you.
Our Prime Minister has spent every Diwali with the Jawans. And that is what a Prime Minister does, not your former Prime Minister who uses the Navy and INS, to party and to have private parties for his family. Please don't even compare, Shama. You will have nowhere to go.